Hello and welcome to Cherry Hills. We're going to do a little bit of an episode today and talk about something new that I've kind of put onto the map. So there's a couple of things that I've actually added to Cherry Hills to kind of give the town a little bit of a flavour. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get into our pickup truck and we're going to go for a little bit of a drive and basically check out the new additions. So the first of these, what we've done is actually taken our Cherry Hills farm, and we've had two new businesses essentially added to the farm, to the map. One of which we're going to go and see now. It's going to actually no, we're going to go and see this one first. So sorry, we're going to go across the field actually. But what we've done, so we set up our production line, and we basically set up our production line. And one of the things we have kind of done is I need a mistake. I'll get out of drive control there for a moment. So it's a foggy morning here in Cherry Hills. It's kind of early, but what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look at the lights are on. The lights. So I'm going down on the side of the road. So just to kind of beef up the sort of production almost, and also give it a nice little extra feel to the map. One of the things we've basically fired up the map, and we've actually added some extra functionality to the map. So we're just passing the joinery yard, the joinery number 2, and we're basically kind of taking some space and actually converted what was placed earmarked for placeables, and we've actually implemented a new business, and so we're just coming up on it now. This former placeable spot has just basically been taken over by Cherry Hills Orchard. So what we have here is we've actually put in a nice little orchard here, a cherry tree orchard in fact. So we've got a few rows of cherry trees. We need to feed them compost and manure and some water, and we'll even get some nice boxes of cherries to sell out of this. So basically all we've done is we've basically moved an orchard into an existing sort of space, kind of opened that up for us to have an extra bit of functionality. So one of the things we're going to do in this episode is we're going to go in there and we are going to get that up and running. So that just needs manure and compost, and that's easy enough for us to get because we have tons of the stuff. We just need to fill up the wagon. So the next thing we're going to look at is, and we're just going to burn up this road, is we are going to go to the town, and there's a new business being implemented in the town, an actual dairy. And so the dairy is basically going to, just like our dairy that we've basically implemented using the production line, this is a very much simpler dairy organisation, who we're just going to supply to them milk from our cows, and they are basically going to produce product from those. So what we've done is we've implemented a dairy in there. So what I'm going to do is head up to that location and try and do it as quick as I can, and we can take a look around. So what I've done, as I say, is Also, we've actually harvested the field as well off camera today. So field 10 had millet on it. We've actually harvested that. It took us a little while, but that was actually harvested quite early on. So we've got that sorted. So we have, I think we had about 800,000 litres of millet off that field. So not a huge amount, but it was a good amount. It's been a foggy morning here on the farm, so it's been pretty difficult to actually see. It's starting to clear up, but it was really kind of hard work doing that field. It was really easy to sort of get your bearings all messed up because of you couldn't even see the field edges, so you're in the middle of the field and you can't see the edge of the field, so you have no idea which way you're going. So we're going up through the town, and in the town there is an actual area set aside near one of the sale points further up as to here, where you can actually drop down placeables. And what we've actually done is we've taken over part of that for a new facility, and that facility is the dairy. We actually filled it up off camera yesterday, and basically we kind of have that. Oops, almost missed it then. So we basically set this up here, and we actually bought a new tanker as well to go with it, so you can see our tanker over there. So this is the dairy that we've set up. It's a really nice facility. Again, we've got our pallet movers with our produce, and you can see it's happily working away, and then they ought to sell. This is the Aurora Organic Dairy. We basically just drop in the milk around the back here, and that basically is then processed into cheese and milk, and then basically sold. So we've actually acquired a IT runner trailer and set up a tanker train essentially that can pull and deliver 100,000 litres of liquid. So we have a nice white lorry which is going to be for milk, and we basically set that up here. So this actually, it was full. This has been kind of running overnight, so I can just actually turn the hood on. You'll see that it's 91% complete. Sorry, 91% left of milk, and it makes two things. It makes cheese and homogenized milk. So essentially, we take our milk and it makes additional product from it. So yes, so we have that sort of running. We could take those pallets off there and sell them elsewhere, and I am actually thinking that we need to actually do that within the town and have a supermarket set up to sell products from not just this production, but from the orchard and from the greenhouses, but also from the production line that we're building. So there we have the new additions to the map. These have been added actually at a technical level to the map with the Giants editor. We basically kind of built these in, so this is kind of, they're not placeable, they are part of the map now. So we've actually kind of enhanced the map a little bit to allow that to happen. So I am actually looking at other things that I can add to kind of add to production. Or I'm not going to change any fields. I'm not going to change any of the kind of core elements. I'm going to add to other things. I'm going to use some of the kind of the same principles that are with the map. So, for instance, as you see there, with all of the production, it all goes to a little pallet mover, which basically then goes to a local sell point. But we can I have set it up so that we can basically, you know, obviously you can take the product off there if you so desire and sell that separately. One of the things we have to do today, so we've got a few little tasks to do. We have, I'm not going to, I might start the ploughing and preparation of the fields off today. I'm not sure. I might actually save that for tomorrow, the next game day, as it were. Basically, what I want to do, and we're going back to the farm here, is we have a lot of little chores to do. One of which is we have a ton of, absolute ton of wool to actually offload. So what I'm going to do, I can't remember where I put that load of trailer, sorry. I put it somewhere in one of the sheds. I can't remember which shed I put it in. Basically, we have a lot of wool that needs taking somewhere, like a lot. We just keep kind of actually I'll leave that one for the moment. I'll actually leave that. I won't do that job yet. What we'll do is we'll just park up the pickup and head across to the farm area. So we actually have all of that wool and it's filling up so quickly. So quite literally we've got an absolute mountain of wool to offload. It is a staggering amount. Of wool that we have to offload. So we can take this to the spinnery. In the first part, spinnery is all the way up here. But what I'm actually thinking is we do actually need to take, I mean this truck is great, it'll take 10, but I'm thinking we actually need a longer trailer. And I'm trying to remember, do we have a, yes we do. We do have a long trailer, an Arctic trailer, an articulated trailer. So what I'm thinking is we should grab a semi to actually take that up to the sale point. So I'm going to grab one of these, put them in black, get standard attachers. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that just yet. Actually, yes. Let's not do that one just yet. Actually, let's get our new production up and running. I think that's going to be our first task. But I am going to unload this because I do want to get this kind of put away, because we just have so much of this here. It is kind of off. We've just got so much of it, and I mean, basically, I want to take as much of it at one time as possible to sell. Because quite frankly, I mean, we've got so much of the stuff. It is frankly ridiculous. I'm actually gonna line it up out here, partly because it's just gonna be so much easier for a samurai to pick up. So what we need is we'll need some manure in the first instance. So what we're going to do is going to grab a truck for that, and we're going to head over to this. Unfortunately, the marker for this is actually kind of, I think it's so close to the edge of the map, it's disappeared. So what I'm going to do is that is set up. I'm going to, oh, we should check actually the production of our other stuff. So I'll quickly do that as I try to find. I'm trying to find one of these. This guy. And so the orchard needs 100,000 compost and 100,000 manure. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to fill this up with compost to about 100,000. I wish there's actually a way to actually specify how much you wanted, but unfortunately there isn't at the moment, so I just have to keep an eye on the counter. Okay, so we're gonna, it's a half load, it's not full load. We have to come back to the farm anyway, so let's take this to the yard. And we'll, one of the things we have to do as well is we do have to take water. So we need 50,000 water, and we need to 100,000 of each of compost and manure. So basically we just need to sort of take this over there and pop it off. So I am kind of looking for other things that we can potentially add to the map to sort of make things fun. I have been looking at things like breweries, other kinds of production that I would like to add. I haven't found, well, I found like there's definitely some brewery GE things that potentially could go in. I kind of want to have something that I can customize a little bit to make it kind of in keeping, whoa, that was in keeping with the map. So for instance, the original place where that dairy comes from does have a German name, so we did actually kind of change that. There's some, you know, this is a kind of private map, so these changes are not going to be public. But it's, you know, everything that's gone on here is basically, you know, we kind of looked at some things from other modders to actually make this happen. For instance, this orchard is a combination of Stevie's own production stuff for the greenhouses. So these things were taken from the actual greenhouses. I copied a greenhouse and then added, oops, wrong one. I removed the greenhouse, took the kind of production bit, found another mod, so another map actually that had an orchard, and borrowed the trees, and actually the pallets as well. And then basically sort of combined the two things together to make this. I didn't wholesale copy from the other map, partly because I did think about it. I did try it, but it kind of failed. But also, I did like this way I've done this a little bit better. Kind of just a little shared orchard that's sort of fenced off. Just kind of make it a little bit more in keeping. And I did think that basically Cherry Hills has to have a cherry orchard. I mean, come on, it's Cherry Hills after all. So you know you could have a cherry orchard. So I've added that Cherry Hills with this cherry orchard. So that was kind of I spent the afternoon doing that. That's a really nice little touch. So the dairy, I say, so pretty much just straight modification from someone else. I did change a little bit of the branding, added the palette movers from the map already, and added the sail trigger points, keeping with the style of the map. I actually did I up the trigger values? I think I may have upped the amount it takes as well. I can't remember actually if I did or not. But the orchard actually, the values and everything else in that one are kind of all based on what I kind of felt I wanted to have on this map. I need to move this guy. Kind of left him here when I finished doing the millet. So there's 850,000 litres of millet on in that field. It's quite a lot. So one of the things I kind of want to add as well is I want to add a brewery. I did think about adding a bit more layered. We're going to go to the pig sty for this one here. Basically add a little bit more layer to the production, so we've got to use multiple stuff, but I kind of haven't. I kind of liking the partial stuff we've done with the Savapo mods. That works well, and I kind of want to leave that as is, and then use that for where we've got. Okay, we've got manure. So this is basically right. We need to turn on the milling machine. We've actually got over 1 million litres of manure in this location. Literally over 1 million litres. It's absolutely obscene. We've got nearly 2 million litres. It's absolutely obscene. Weirdly, the slurry caps out at 800,000 litres. So we started quite early on the game day. We started, I think, at 4 o'clock in the morning doing that field. It was done very quickly. We kind of optimised our way of doing that, so. I'm kind of puzzled why we're actually got so much manure. I thought these were, I did actually think these were sort of capped at a certain value. So there you can see the three new types have been added: cherries, homogenized milk, and cheese, and the pricing as well for those is there. Weird. So we'll fill this to 50%, or thereabouts. I'm just watching the counter. She finally figured out what that counter was for, which is kind of funny. Okay, we've got that to 50%. Just a little bit over. That's fine. What we'll do is we'll probably just leave this truck there to sort of tip the last little bit in. We do need to grab a water truck and basically take water to the site. There is no pump on site. It's not something I added. One of the things I would really like to have is, I think would be really cool, and I believe it's coming in the fabric script, is we'll do this and then we'll finish up the episode basically once we've dropped this off in the water and got it running, is that basically rain. Of course it rains, so why can't we collect water from the rain? I did see, whoa, so the farmer Andy Map Hofbergman, which we did a review of recently, and that's up on the YouTube channel. That map does have water production, strangely enough. It actually has on there, and it's absolutely kind of an amazing little thing he's done. He's taken some interesting concepts, things that you probably thought about, and then built them into the map. So one of the things is put a water treatment plant in. So you take your manure and your slurry, for instance, and it basically turns it into water. And the other one he's got in there as well is he's got piglets. So essentially, you sell piglets. One of the production items is essentially baby pigs, and they're not sold in the same way, as far as I understand it, as your normal pigs and so on. It actually kind of formalises that selling process. Oops, don't want to do that. I'm going to hit the hedge. So my hedge isn't perfectly straight, but it'll do. It will do. So one of the things I'd kind of like to be able to do is when it rains on a map, is the water that's basically essentially have it collected. So for something like this, for instance, you'd have a barrel or something which would add, which would fill from the rain. And I believe it's happening in Fabric Script in the next version, like 2.2, the Fabric Script. I did see a video posted by, I think it's Kevin K98, the guy who wrote it. who writes the fabric script. It was him. Oops, I didn't want to take this away, sorry. I actually wanted to just leave it there, because once this is running, I can just tip out the remaining 274 into here once it's kind of ticked down a little bit. So I'll just leave that here for the moment. Okay, so we want a water truck. Now, we actually have a water truck for the animals, and it's mostly close. I don't know why I'm just cycling through that way. I'm just gonna water the sheep and the cows whilst I'm here, because I think they both need it. I do need to feed and tend to the animals, so that might be a job as well later on. In fact, actually, I'll leave that. I do need to go to the main farm and pick up water though. So we are kind of at that 30-minute mark, but don't worry, we will do this last task. I kind of want to get this done, and then we can close out the episode. So it would be nice to sort of have that. The other thing we picked up, and this is actually, I'm going to test this out a little later, is we picked up a couple of new pieces of equipment. One of which is the Posy Bear. This is a so basically Scorpion, the Posy series of equipment. You have do they have? Oh no. So they have a smaller tree harvester, sort of that kind of size. Then they have this buffalo. Then they have the scorpion, which they don't have in the game, but they have the Scorpion King, which is the next one up. And then the big boy, the one that's essentially the daddy of them all, is this guy, the Posy Bear. And I've actually picked up a mod that implements it, so I'm going to try this one out later. I'm going to buy one, and I didn't realise it was so cheap. It's a little bit more powerful than the Scorpion King, but apparently it's the big brother. The other thing that I've picked up as well, and this one I'm actually going to get and put at one of the production sites, is this guy. Little Toyota forklift truck. I actually saw this on another YouTuber's channel last night. I think it's Nick the Hick is the channel. Basically, he did a little forklift truck review, and this Toyota forklift was one of them. So I'm going to grab one of those, and I'm going to deposit that at the dairy, not the dairy, the new dairy that I've added, but the dairy from the Zavapo mods, because I think it's a production site, so having a proper forklift is more in keeping, I think, than the telehandler. Though the telehandler will probably stay there. That'll be whoops, I wanted to what the hell. I will try and do this. Make it round. So yes, so I'm going to grab one of those and we'll take it down. We'll have to use a loader for that because it is a very small vehicle, and it's only got 90 horsepower, so there's a very high probability the thing will not be able to go very fast, but that's not what it's for. It's a forklift truck, so it uses telehandler equipment, so essentially we can stick on a custom, one of our custom forks. The other one that Nick the Hick reviewed had fixed forks, so you couldn't put your own stuff on there, but in theory with that Toyota you could put a bell fork on there, for instance. Anything you can do with the telehandler you could do, although I suspect putting a bucket on it would not work. I do seriously suspect that the bucket would not work. But basically what we'll do is I'll take it up to that location up there on the right, where we've set up the new the dairy that processes the output from this agro production line. So we're going to have essentially two dairies on this map. One which will basically auto sell. We just need to feed milk, and we just essentially need to feed it 100,000 milk every few days, and it should literally just chew through that and give us produce. This guy, again, we should just basically able to give water, compost and manure, and he will basically produce for us loads of cherries. So whoops, wrong way. So the cool thing about I picked up, this is a prefab as well. It's a nice little hut. I thought very in keeping with this. Every other thing that when I try to kind of import one of these, they all have sort of big buildings, and one of them did it through so there we go, we've got water, we're starting to fill. So actually if we come and look now, we can see, there we go. Well, although that has not come through, I do have to fix that, but that should be, that is weird. That is a artifact that's not sort of rendered. That's intriguing. So that should actually, if I will actually check that. It's weird that when I tested that on a single player version, it actually worked fine. But we have a little box, as you can see, and I'll tweak that little box of cherries. There you go. So that's going to basically just sort of process, and we're going to fill it up. So with that, I'm just going to empty this, and has it actually used any yet? It actually hasn't used any manure yet. I don't know why that didn't fill up. So what I'm going to just do is actually leave us with a view of our cherry trees in the foggy morning here in Cherry Hills. We have our cherry orchard that we've implemented using the Giants editor. So with that, actually, we'll kind of just, let's just sort of sit back and look at the cherries and end our episode. We've put a lot of work into getting everything up and running here, and everything's starting to pan out nicely. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more on this series, hit the subscribe button. Please check out my other videos, the map reviews and so on. I also have live streams going every now and then, so please watch out for those. If you have any questions about what I've done to this map, please drop them in the comments. I won't be releasing this map to anyone like publicly, but it might be privately released for those that want to play on the multiplayer server, but it's a purely a map for private use. But this is stuff you can do yourself, and once you kind of figure it out, you get into a groove and you spend hours doing it. So with that, thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Thank you and goodbye.